Assalamu alaikum, my beautiful people. I am Yusef Woof, and woo! More Inqueeries!
Motherfucker, I don't give a fuck, not a single fuck, not a single solitary fuck, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, not a single fuck, not a single solitary fuck, I don't give a fuck, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck, not a single fuck, not a single solitary fuck, I don't give a fuck about none of y'all. Big ballin' ass.
Hacha! So, welcome back after that lovely intro. Aren't you getting really happy about seeing those? So yeah, we are on a regular schedule, like adults. I know, aren't you proud? So this week, what are we talking about this week? Oh wait, I know what we're talking about. Something mega awesome. Orange is the New Black. Now, a lot of you might not have seen this show, but you've probably heard of it if you're breathing, existing, or if you're on Tumblr. At all. Yeah. Orange is the New Black, just to give you a little bit of backstory, Orange is the New Black is written by Genji Cohen, if any of you know that name or if it sounds familiar. It's because if you watch Weeds is good, and Genji Cohen actually wrote this. It's actually based off of a true story. I actually live in Western Massachusetts, and I live in the town of Northampton, which is home to Smith College, a historically women's college, that the person in the story, who's the main character, Piper Chapman, the real Piper, is actually a Smith College student. So it's really funny that we heard about it, and we kind of went a little nuts, and it was really fun. Yeah, so it's really, really good. And what I mean by really good, I mean that it covers all of the things that I wish TV had covered, if I've ever, from, like, the race tribal dynamics that happen in prison, to women in prison period, to the abuse of power by COs, especially if they're male in prison. Like, it is beautiful. It is poetry in motion, with a side of hilariousness. I could only hope to be that awesome. That's right, I wish I was as awesome as a TV show. Not a person, just a TV show. So, this week we're going to talk about all of the awesome that is Orange is the New Black, and the reasons why. And I'm going to focus on things that were really personal to me about this show. Because as a brown man, as a queer brown man who comes from a working class, I know people like that, man. Like, I have friends that have experiences the way these characters have experiences on this show. So, like, the first thing we want to talk about, Sophia Bursette. And of course that's a given that I want to talk about that, because Sophia Bursette is a trans woman of color. The character is a trans woman of color. What? Let's have a trans person of color play a trans person of color on television. That is ridiculous. We have to get a savvy cisgendered white man. I hate you. That's usually how things play out. You have someone who has no relevant idea of what that experience must be like and is like, and then you have them somehow translate that onto screen and have an audience empathize. But how do they empathize with someone who's never had this experience? What? It's beautiful. She's beautiful. Laverne Cox is beautiful. And I don't mean in like the whole, oh my god, she's so pretty, the hotness beautiful. I mean, she's a fucking beautiful human being. Because, for the first time on television, I see a trans body that isn't dehumanized, or sexualized, or just completely robbed of its humanity. When I first saw the episode where you get into Bursette's backstory, two scenes are in particular really amazing. The one where she's getting ready in the bathroom, and you see her body. Now, I'm not trying to sound creepy, because I know it must sound creepy on some level, because I'm a man talking about a woman's body in this context and saying that it's beautiful. But, what I mean as why it was striking and why it was beautiful is because I'm a trans person, and often trans people have disconnections and concerns with their body. I myself in particular have certain concerns about my body. Seeing someone on screen showing a trans body that isn't inherently wrong. They wanted to show you the reality of things, and Burset / Laverne Cox talks about it. She's a human being, and like, yes, trans women, like, all you ever see on TV, they're sex workers or victims of violent crimes, victims of bigotry and ignorance that's escalated to violence. Like, all you ever see are trans women dying, specifically trans women of color. No. I get so tired of seeing that, because yes, trans women are sex workers. Trans people are sometimes sex workers. People are sometimes sex workers. And there's nothing wrong with that. But god damn it, trans women aren't just sex workers. They aren't just a body. Jesus! Jesus the Christ, they're not just a body. They're parents, and siblings, and artists, and doctors, and fucking firemen, and heroes in the community, and god damn it, they're fucking people. And now, for the first time on television, you're seeing one of them as a person. Who fucking knew? The other moment that's really significant about Burset is that the exchange between her and her partner, I believe her name is Crystal in the show. And because that's such a personal experience for me. One thing is that usually when you see a show and you see a person who's going through a transition with a partner, it's usually black and white. Either the partner's like, whoop whoop, hooray, yeah, we'll pay for all the things, and you'll get all the things chopped off and reattached, and blah blah blah, and we'll get the whole shebang, and you'll be like a fucking Corvette. That's like the happy-go-lucky version. And then there's the black, dark, and this is the fucking plague version, which is where like, no, I hate you, you're a freak, and a monster, please leave. I don't know. All of the years of relationship and negotiating we've ever done in our lives is now out the window because all of a sudden this is different and I can't handle it. And it's not to say that that reaction is wrong, because it's not. Because people are people, and they will react how they react because feelings and you exist. But the problem is that you only get one or the other, and in reality, things are never just that simple. Especially when it comes to the idea of you were with a person now, and that person and your life will drastically change. Because these things are going to drastically change. Someone who is very near and dear to me, my best friend in the whole fucking world, we dated for a very long time, and we dated off and on because we were in high school, and that's just what you do. It's like a fucking hobby. At the time, I was only still just a lesbian, and then I realized, no, not a lesbian. I'm actually a man, and that was an issue for her. Why? Because she's a fucking lesbian. She's not attracted to men. And so for her, that was an issue. Why? Because things were changing. In loving me, and in honoring me as a person, and honoring my identity because it's valid and it's real, she knew and she understood, yes, Yusef is a man. But in that validation, she also understands that I cannot be with Yusef because I am not attracted to men. And to have that conversation and to hear the hurt in her voice and understand that this was the most painful thing she had to do because she cared about me so much, but she also cares about herself because she should. Crystal and Sophia having that moment, that tenderness of you don't have to stay, because I've said those words before, you don't have to stay. But Crystal is right, this is her family. This is not black and white, this is not I love you but I'm going, this is not I don't love you but I'm staying. This is, I love you, I love myself, my family is so important, I can't see you die, I can't abandon my responsibilities as a parent to our child. It's a difficult situation, and they maneuver it beautifully, because now you see communication in a dynamic that's never been seen before between two people that are dealing with gender. Gender is a fuckery, and gender likes to fight all the fucking time. Like a goddamn missing node Pokemon, that shit just pops up and fucks up your game, bro. And it's not black and white. For me, that was so important, because now you see actual relationships that we have. You see a complexity there that is not seen before. And for so long, I've needed that. Because how the fuck do you explain to people what it feels like to lose someone who's so important for the right reason? I could never in a million years at the beginning of all of this explain how I lost someone I truly cared about, but it was okay because she was saving my life. Like, it's how the English Spanish? I don't... Yeah. And then let's talk about the beautiful things like Tasty and Poussey, because that friendship is just fucking magical. Another really important thing. There's a character in the show, and if you haven't watched the show, what I ask you is to pause the video now, and I'll put an annotation as to where you can skip ahead. I'll try to avoid as many spoilers as possible, but if you haven't finished the show, skip ahead to whatever point I put, because that's just going to be me talking about awesome things at some point. So, a character in the show is Suzanne. Some of you might know her as Crazy Eyes, but I'm not going to call her that after this. Her name is Suzanne. You've now learned her name. Use it. I'm a person who suffers from several mental illnesses, if you want to call them that. There's a moment in the show where Suzanne asks Piper, "Why do people call me Crazy Eyes?" I sobbed during those scenes. That moment is so incredibly fucking crucial and important to understanding where Suzanne is coming from. And that moment is a validation of people with mental illnesses. Whoa, that is a really intense analysis of like 30 seconds of film. And I understand. But let me share something with you. And I know it might have seemed boring and not as entertaining, but I need people to understand the significance of Suzanne in a show like this. Every time someone has a mental disorder, every time someone has a diagnosis on a show, suddenly the world fucking ends, and this person is a pariah, and is somehow more violent, and less capable, and less able of doing things. When the fuck did that happen? Like, no, that's unfair, and it's ridiculous to assume that somehow I can't take care of myself, or I'm unfit to take care of other people that I care about, because I have a chemical imbalance in my brain. That's not how people work. But somehow, in the means of science and language and pills and shit and blah and blah, and the list goes on and on and on, and we've gotten to this point where if I mention that I have a mental health disorder, people's perception of me changes in an instant, and all of a sudden I am completely different, and everything I do and say, when I fart, all of a sudden scrutinized. Ask me questions about it. I might be open to educating you. But guess what? I reserve the right to not tell you anything. I reserve the right to not have to, display my diagnosis on a fucking pedestal. Yeah. So, Suzanne, I love her. Please, don't call her Crazy Eyes. I'm asking you. Bear on camera to person watching. Don't call her Crazy Eyes. You know her name now. Use her name. And now that we're done with all of the really intense shit, can we talk about the really awesome things on this show? Nichols, I love her. She's amazing. She plays a lesbian every goddamn time. Little Boo! That actress has the word butch tattooed on their forearm. How badass is that shit? Also, she was rocking the haircut that I was rocking back in California. Yep, I would do me. We're trying to get back there. It's taking a while. We talk about Miss Claudette. Miss Claudette is the fucking shit. Fucking love Miss Claudette. You don't fuck with that shit. Watson the shit. Can we talk about one of the greatest quotes ever, which is when they have to go down on the floor and they're just like, well, why? And she goes, because a white man said so. Accurate. All of the time. My favorite episode is actually the chickening. It's about a chicken. Who doesn't love that? Also, I learned what a spruce grouse was. It's a fancy chicken. Bam! Right there for you. See that? Spruce grouse. Fancy ass chicken. Daya and the CEO are super cute. I fucking hate Pornstash. He can go suck a dick. He's so creepy. Ugh. Shit. Ugh. Pensatucky is fucking insane. Jesus Christ. Also, Hot Donna. Can we talk about Hot Donna? Just look, Hot Donna. Hot Donna got really hot. I'm sorry for the objectification, but Hot Donna. My 14-year-old dreams came true. Orange is the New Black is a great show, and it has quickly become my absolute favorite show. And I think I'm on the 6th run of watching it over again. Fun stuff. Every time you watch it, you learn something new. Start looking in the backgrounds, because I've learned all kinds of fun things. Anyway, so that was this week's episode as a bonus video. Yeah, you can either click on it and leave it a surprise, or I'll wait a couple seconds. The bonus video is actually me doing a cover of the theme song, You've Got Time, that was written by Regina Spektor, specifically for the show. So you can go check that out. I worked really hard on it. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Please make sure to watch other folks' episodes this week. Auditions are still open. If you would still like to email and send videos or tell your friends, please have them audition, because we do need female, femme-identified, and or androgynous and asexual identified people on the show. We really don't want to be very one-sided, because right now all we have is mostly masculine and male-identified people on the channel, and then we become more problematic, and we really don't want to do that. So I encourage any and all female, femme-identified people, specifically people of color, like we are considering having an ally day, but I really wanted to get like women of color and female people identified with color, femme people, androgynous and asexual people of color in the door first. So if we could rally the internet and do that. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Inqueeries. My name is Yusef Woof. I love your face and all of this and your shoulders and your hands. I love you, really. Is what I'm trying to get at. Alright, I will see you guys sometime on another Saturday. But consistently, I promise. Love you, face. Bye.
The cage is full, the day is new, and everyone is waiting on you, and you've got time. Think of all the roads